This is Mechbay, and welcome to another episode of Mechbay Dios. So I'm currently working on another diorama accessories that will go along on a current commission diorama project that I'm working on, and this one is a light street light slash light pole, with lamp. But this one is the busted version, so you could kind of see two separate pieces. So basically, this street light has been basically cut in half. So from a battle or some sort of disaster or accidents or whatever, but it's busted. That's why it has like wires coming out on both of these. All right. So yeah. So this accessories is going to be for a 1/6 scale diorama. So this is larger than what I normally work with. Yeah. So I'm building this from scratch, and using different type of materials. And in terms of displaying, this part right here, the bottom part of the light bulb will actually be standing, and this will be placed on a specific location in a diorama. Although this one can freestand anywhere, but I actually have a place in the diorama that I'm building on where this one's gonna go, and I actually have a magnet in there, so this will pop um, in that diorama with another magnet somewhere there. So it's gonna be like that, and again, it's a busted light pole. So this part right here will be displayed like this, basically just falling on the ground. So in terms of materials, I have some multiple materials that I use in here. Some of them are like recycled materials, which is good because they're free, basically. And just looking at this light pole footing and concrete pad. So yeah, so basically, this pink part right here is insulation foam, and the white part right here is craft foam, and then this kind of like triangular part right here, which in real life kind of act as a reinforcement for the light pole. This material is a sheet of styrene plastic. I bought this from eBay. They're not really cheap. They probably cost about maybe $8 for like a 11 by 17 size sheet. And then with shipping, it's probably gonna cost you about, I don't know, over $12. So they're not cheap. So I don't really use a lot of these for bigger type projects. And normally I use it for like little things like this, which they work perfectly. And then this little materials right here is kind of like small fasteners, and those you could get at Michael's at the scrapbooking section. So, but basically, I use that to mimic like the bolt. So yeah, so basically, once I'm done with this, this bottom part of this right here, where you see the line that I have here, right? The bottom part will be concrete, and then this top part right here will be metal. So you could kind of imagine that this whole piece is actually kind of like clamped down by this bolt to the concrete pad, right? And then of course, these are all going to be metal as well. And yeah, the pole will be metal. And then oh yeah, then this pole or pipe is actually a material that I got at Hobby Lobby, and this is I got this from the cake or baking section. So this is actually what they use for to prop up the cake, you know, when they do those multiple layers of cake, like stacking. This is what the baker or whoever makes the cake, you know, they use this as a kind of like a rod. But for me, I like this because they're fairly, you know, I mean, they're sturdy, but they're not as thick as like a PVC pipe, for example. So they're easier to work with. So you could kind of do something like this where you can kind of like, you know, have that broken, damaged look. That's something that's kind of hard to do in with the PVC pipe. So yeah, so this, for that kind of purpose, I like this one. I mean, they're not. I think I spent like maybe like, I don't know, $4, and it comes with like 4 of these in like, you know, 13-inch, you know, long. So they're not really cheap, I guess, but you know, it works for me, so I don't mind spending that. And then for the wires, you know, this is the recycled materials that, you know, that I was talking about. And this is basically wires from my iPhone chargers. And unfortunately, I have a lot of iPhone chargers, the wires, that are faulty. So, you know, and they last like a month or two, and then they don't work anymore. So anyway, so instead of just throwing them away, I decided to, you know, keep those. And yeah, and you know, they work in this kind of purpose, you know. So yeah, so what I did is I just, you know, glue this in like a piece of pink insulation foam, and I'm just, you know, later on I'm just gonna, you know, glue it inside, you know, and you're done, you know. Obviously I'm not gonna put wires all the way down because you only want to show this part right here. So, and that's the same thing on the other part of this pole. And then the lamp part, I for this pole or electric or light pole, this one right here is actually a recycled material also, and this is a halogen light bulb that, again, you know, it's not working anymore. So instead of throwing it, I decided to keep it, and for this kind of purpose, and I think it works well. Has a light bulb there still. I actually you know, break this just to have like a more distressed look. I will be painting this over, so this whole part right here will be all, I'm still deciding if it's gonna be in a color or just kind of like metal or black. But yeah, it's gonna be painted, but the bottom part will be clear, just to get that light bulb in there so you can see it from the inside. And that, you know, I'll basically just glue that to that. And this one is actually pipes from, or the from the DIY straw, you know. So I basically just cut them into these pieces right here, and you know, put a hole in this thing and just glue it inside to create my connection. And then for the cap of this light pole, you know, I again, this is a recycled part. I used this is actually from one of those the air freshener, the ones that you plug in the wall. This is the cap for those kind of like bottles they have. So I have a bunch of these, and they actually can work with, you know, with different stuff. It could, you know, but this one right here, it kind of works perfect, you know, as a light pole cap. So yeah, so what I'm gonna be doing next in here is basically just prime this before I do my final coat. And for this part right here, usually what I do is I just use a black primer paint on this one, instead of using you know, acrylic brush, you know, the brush, because it's kind of hard to stick the acrylic, water-based acrylic, using brush on this type of material. So normally what I do for those is I use black spray paint, and then after that, then you could use the acrylic, water acrylic based by a brush, and it will adhere perfectly. All right, so yeah, so the next time I'll show you should be done. All right, so here's the completed project for this busted light pole for 1/6 scale action figures or Hot Toys size figures. And again, on the previous video where I showed you the work in progress of these in terms of materials, you could kind of know what it is already. But just to show you how I painted this, what I try to do with this, the paint for this, is I try to, as much as possible, mimic the way the look of the light pole. And a lot of the light pole that you see are kind of have that galvanized steel look to it, the color. And I haven't really seen, at least on the acrylic paints that I've been using, I don't have a straight on paint that's specifically made just for galvanized steel look. So for me, I have to play around with mixing paint. So what I did on this one is I actually used one of my medium gray paints, and then used some of my silver paint and mix it together. I don't have the exact ratio, but you just mix it together, and that will kind of give you that galvanized look. And then once I'm done, I went back and actually dry brush additional silver paint to it. So if you look, see, there's like kind of like some galvanized or silver paint look to this light pole. And so I'm pretty happy with what how this one turns out. So I think I did the job that I wanted to do. And again, this will be displayed like standing like that pretty much, and this will be laying down like that, because it's kind of like it basically got cut in half or something, and this one just fell down. And again, just to look at the detail at the base of this light pole, again, I just painted the whole thing with that kind of paint mixture that I told you, and that's how they look. And actually, they turns out pretty good. I love how it turns out. And of course, you could kind of see some of the imperfection. Should have cleaned that out. That's actually some glue that but it's actually cool. It adds for the imperfections of these, and normally those are actually better, because not a lot of the stuff in the real world are always perfect. There's always some imperfection, so that adds to the realism, I guess. And then I also did a little bit of dark gray airbrushing on this, just to give a little bit of like shading. My lighting's kind of dark, but oh yeah, and then right here, it's the exposed electric cables that was cut as well. And I also mentioned what I use on these on the work in progress video part. But yeah, that's how it turns out. And I like it. Again, I'm gonna be showing some pictures of the applications for for these accessories in the diorama that I was making. But I just want to share this part so that you guys will have an idea onto, or yeah, like if you do decide something like this for your own project. All right, well, I hope this one is another helpful video, and again, please subscribe, like, and share my video, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye bye.